Welcome to episode 15 of Cougars on Cougars. I'm Jess. This is Mary. Do you want to read our quote of the week?
Yes, our quote of the week comes from Michael Jordan. Not crying Jordan, just regular Michael Jordan. It says, "Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, others make it happen." And we kind of picked that with Corbin in mind. Mm-hmm. He wanted football and basketball to happen, so he's making it happen, and we will get much more into that later in the episode.
He might have used the secret. Okay, let's go into Talk of the Town.
Yes.
Which, again, there's a lot going on this week, starting with...
we were wrong.
About Jake Toolson.
Yeah.
He's going to UVU, of all places.
Not Arizona State. He's not going back home. He's literally going down the road to play for Mark Pope. So, yeah. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of starting to get a bitter taste in my mouth. And I know it's probably not Mark Pope's fault, and it's probably these kids seeing that they're going to get more playing time for him and stuff. But, I don't really like it.
I'll tell you what, I think Mark Pope has one heck of a recruiting bitch. He's getting some good players over there.
Yeah, we'll miss Jake, and we'll miss that guard depth, but we'll figure it out. So, good luck to Jake.
And he did get married this week. So, congrats to Jake and Sarah.
Yeah.
Still decide you won't be on our team, but
congrats.
Congratulations
And that's
anyway.
a pretty picture. So, speaking of Jake leaving, someone gets his scholarship, and that is Stephen Bayou, our friend from Washington who is coming out of high school.
He was going to be a preferred walk-on.
Yeah, so now he gets a scholarship a year earlier than he thought he might, which is good news for him, and I think good news for us. He's a really good player who we're excited about. So he signed his national letter of intent and announced that he's getting that full scholarship.
And he wants to be at BYU, so that's great too. He had some
Yes.
other good offers, so it's nice to have him here with the scholarship.
Yes.
Other big news out of this week involving basketball.
Yeah, Corbin is going to be playing both sports like we kind of already alluded to. So BYU basketball kind of had a tweet with their little press release going on with that.
Yeah, and so he's basically just following what Bronson did. So he'll play football for the whole season.
Right.
And then he'll come in and play basketball. So
right, we thought a Gonzaga fan account had a really funny reaction to this. They said Corbin Kaufusi will also be playing football next year for BYU. This should translate to added finesse, aka brute mauling, in his basketball game. So we gotta. I mean, I think that means they're a little scared. That's good. We could use a little brute mauling against Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think he said today he wants to get up to about 270.
Oh my gosh.
So that'll be fun.
Brute force is right.
We'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
Okay. Kyle Chilton tweeted out that Bob Medina for BYU basketball, he's the strength and conditioning coach, is leaving.
Yeah, so Kyle is basketball's sports information director, and this is the first we have heard of it. So Bob Medina was great. He's been with us for a few years, helped Kyle Collinsworth get back in shape after his mission, and was working with TJ. So this is kind of sudden, but it looks like we will have a new strength and conditioning coach next year.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Greg Ravel posted a throwback this week, and this is from 1997 with his first season with Mark Durant.
And oh my gosh, it is fantastic.
Greg has hair.
Well, Mark has hair. Mark's glasses. It's phenomenal. So enjoy that picture.
Fall. That's a long time.
Speaking of Greg, he tweeted something else. He's in Italy with the women's soccer team, and we'll have some more pictures from this later. But it's a picture of him with Brandon Davies, and it's funny because Tom Homo took the photo. But a bunch of Cougars having a great time in Italy. Apparently, that's where Brandon Davies is playing, so he was able to go support the women's soccer team.
Very nice. Jacob Hartsock this week tweeted out that his surgery was a success.
We didn't know.
Did anybody know he was having surgery?
Maybe we're totally out of the loop, but it looks like he had surgery somewhere on his leg.
Someone said it was a bone chip in his knee.
Oh dear.
Who said that? I don't remember who.
I don't know.
Anyway.
But I guess it could be more serious than that, right? So hopefully hopefully he recovers well from that. Zach Celius, we are cherishing every last post we're getting from Zach Celius because he leaves us in less than a month. But he posted earlier this week, it was one of those stupid national days again, and it was National High Five Day, and he said that no one is better at high fives than him and Nick, which we don't disagree with that. They're pretty good high fivers.
We'll have to find someone else to high five next year.
I hope with his Lone Peak compadres that he'll find someone.
It was graduation this week at BYU.
Yes,
so
lots of graduates.
lots of athletes graduating. So Tim LaCone tweeted out that both Nate Austin, Chase Fisher, Kyle Collinsworth, and Jordan Chapman graduated.
There's the kicker. So we knew they were graduating. We didn't know Jordan was graduating with his undergrad. I think he's going to go to law school, right?
Yeah, he took the LSAT before one of the games. And
you went to law school. Can you imagine going to law school and being a full-time athlete?
No.
Yeah, no. No.
Because here's the thing. Because at least football, it's like one semester and then you're done.
Yeah.
With basketball, it's 2 semesters.
Yeah,
so you're getting 2 semesters interrupted. And missing class during law school is no joke. So I hope he gets a good tutor.
Oh, good luck with that, Jordan. So anyway, speaking of all those graduates, here is a post from Chase's cute girlfriend, Kristen, and she tweeted just a picture of her and Chase and said, "So proud of my graduate," and just a cute picture.
Where are the pictures of Kyle and Nate? I want to see those.
I know.
But Tanner Mangum did tweet out as well that, speaking of graduation, that Alexa graduated. So she's officially a BYU graduate. Hashtag proud fiance.
Yes, there is another graduate.
Congrats to her too.
Going back to some sporting events this week, Coach Rose was spotted supporting volleyball. So Coach Sataki got all that fame and glory for being in the rock and stuff, but there's Coach Rose. He's out supporting the other teams too.
Yep, way to be. And they've got some big games coming up in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Wedding season, as we mentioned, in full swing. Jake Toulson got married last week. This weekend.
Nick Emery. Yeah.
So
he
there's
tweeted
a
that with hashtag blessed.
And then his fiance Sarah posted it on Instagram. Yeah. So
really cute bridal pictures
coming up.
Just a couple more things. These ones kind of centering a little more around football. Handsome. I'm not gonna say his last name. Tanaleo. David Fiso, help me. He enrolled in school at BYU. He said, "Okay, for y'all who warned me, we in there, boy." Really great picture of him. Thank you. We're excited to have him on the defensive line.
Right. So they also announced the time for the BYU Boise State game.
Yes, finally. We've been waiting for that.
They did move it to a Thursday, which I'm not happy about because I wanted to go to that game.
Makes it harder for a weekend trip.
Yeah, probably still will. But it's Thursday, October 20th, 8:15 on ESPN.
On the mothership. Yeah. So it's a late game, but it's always fun to be on ESPN and make the trip up if you can. It's an excuse to take another day off work.
Boise's awesome, too. I don't want to hear you people saying things about Boise anymore on Twitter.
Not to Jess, at least.
Definitely not.
So another thing that happened over the past weekend, the Fan Fests kicked off, and we'll put a link in the comments of the times and dates and locations of all of the Fan Fests. But this past weekend was in Mesa, and this tweet came from Dave Broberg, and it said, "Wow, just wow. It doesn't matter where it is. BYU fans are everywhere, and they care a lot." It was packed there. So we have some pictures showing how many people went there.
And Max Hall was there.
Yeah.
So
he lives in Arizona still, right?
I think so. Yeah, he's down there. So that was cool to see him there.
Make an appearance.
BYU basketball tweeted out too a picture of Corbin and Elijah.
So I thought it was funny because Corbin and Elijah were the only two that went to represent basketball, and it was the same day they went to Arizona that Corbin announced he was playing both sports. So when you went to the basketball booth, you got to meet basketball and football player.
Did he do double time?
I don't know.
Bruce? That would have been cool.
But yeah. Looks fun. Right. Okay, we promised we were going to talk more about Corbin becoming a dual athlete, and we will. So right when we heard the news, we asked what your guys' thoughts and opinions were on the matter and said that we would read some responses. So we got some good ones. Our first one was from our friend Devin Smith, and he said, "Fun." I mean, sure. It probably will be fun for Corbin.
He didn't put an exclamation mark, though, so
no,
maybe
fun,
it was sarcastic.
With just a period. Is there even a period? Anyway, we promised we'd read it, so there it is. What else?
Jordan Blanchard said that he could be like Jimmy Graham from Miami, play basketball for a while, and then go pro in the NFL.
Yeah, and it probably is more likely for him to go to the NFL. We kind of talked about that, so than the NBA. So, good point, Jordan. We also got a comment from Rick the Younger, who is at Rise _up Cougars. And he said that he's a great athlete. People assume he's trying to follow Bronson, but I think his dad has him excited about the new football staff, which could very well be true. There's a lot of excitement.
Everybody's
surrounding
excited about the
football.
New stuff.
Yeah, so it could be a factor.
Thomas at BYU Apologist said, "Great opportunity for him and for BYU to develop another great defensive lineman." So,
yeah, it is. Those Kaufusis are bred athletes.
Yeah, he's a Kaufusi. That's what they do. They play football.
Right. So those are not necessarily our opinions about that. We'll get into that a little bit more, but those are some of your opinions. I ran a poll from my personal account that said, in your hot take opinion, Corbin should, and I said absolutely play both, stick with basketball, or drop basketball and only play football. And 68% of people said that he should absolutely play both. And it was tied for 16% for stick with basketball and drop basketball, which I was kind of surprised about.
Yeah. I don't know if people understand how hard it is to do both at the same time. I mean,
and the seasons coincide too.
Yeah, and practicing for both and trying to get in shape for both and all of that. It's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, and like as helpful as working out in general is, like it's always going to help you. Yes, he's going to be in shape, but like they're different sports. Yeah, the footwork different skills is good, but like it's different. So anyway, most people think he should play both, and he is. So
we'll see how that goes.
Yes, we'll see how it goes.
We wanted to sort of do a new segment every time we have a topic that we might want to debate. So this is one with Corbin. So we're going to call this a 2-minute drill.
Yes.
We're each going to take a minute and take one side of the issue and talk about it. So we're talking about Corbin playing football and basketball. Yes. Pros of him playing both, cons of him playing both. So I'm going to go first. So for him playing both, I think first of all, it is a really good opportunity for Corbin. I mean, that's what he signed to come to BYU for originally, was to play football. His dad's a coach. His brother played here. I think it's always been his dream, and I think he'll be really dedicated and want to do great things on the football team. He'll also have 3 years to play football. So I don't know if he'll see a ton of time on the field this year, but I bet in the next couple of years he'll get there. Yeah. He'll get lots of time to develop. He may even turn out like Bronson and have a shot at the NFL. So he will be working out all year, so he'll be in good shape. Yeah. It is a little bit different, but he'll put on some weight, which I think could be good. He'll get a chance to improve his footwork, working in football. And then hopefully it'll give him some confidence too, or he can get out in the football field where he's maybe a little more comfortable than he has been with basketball, have a big impact. And then he'll come back for basketball season and be a really good player off the bench, someone who has experience, who knows the league, and he'll, be a solid player.
Okay, so those are our pros. And me and Jess aren't necessarily on starkly different sides of this debate. I think we both see some pros and cons, but here are some of the potential cons, because I think there are both. The first one that I kind of thought about was commitment, because it kind of seems like him choosing football, it just comes off as wavering commitment to basketball. Whether it is or it isn't, it kind of comes off that way, because he's choosing to split his time both ways instead of focusing on one. Mm-hmm. We had been talking about in previous weeks a lot about Corbin becoming a captain. And Nate had that post with all those wonderful things to say about Corbin, and Robbie kind of got us onto that idea. But this kind of changes all that for us. I think we had a Twitter conversation where we said that this essentially eliminates that option, because he's going to miss the beginning of the season. If we go to a bowl game that's around Christmas time, he's going to be missing 13 to 17 games. He's missing all of the non-conference games, our resume builders for March Madness. It's kind of a big deal. So my tweet just really sums up most how I feel about it. I said, to me, this Kaufusi news is his acceptance of staying mediocre at basketball and also his acceptance of limited playing time. We have posts coming in. He maybe knows that it's a good time for him to bow out. So I don't like it personally. I think there are some pros, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I mean, I think it's exciting for him playing football. I think there's definitely some downsides for the basketball team.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we have talent coming in, but the basketball team did just get a whole lot younger in this last week with Jake transferring and then with Corbin playing football not being there for the first half.
I feel like the way it kind of spins is that there is no downside for football. For the football team, it's great. Yeah. They're gaining depth. They're gaining an athlete. They're gaining a 6'10" player.
They're getting a Kaufusi.
But for the basketball team, it's kind of a blow. And they'll be fine. And we do have a lot of post players coming in. But the basketball team needs depth too, and they need leadership. So
I mean, he was one of our only juniors,
and he's going to be missing a bunch of the first of the season.
That's right. So we're excited. I'm excited to see what Corbin does on the football field, and I'm excited for basketball still. I mean, it'll be good. It'll turn out.
Fine. And let us know how you feel about the pros and cons. Let us know if you think we missed anything. But there's the 2-minute drill.
So our favorite sophomore quarterback tweeted out last week. Tanner Mangum. He said, watching the rookie, and he gets called up to the majors and calls to tell his son, and now I'm all emotional. Sports. So good.
It's so funny that he makes us emotional when we're watching him play, and also he gets emotional about it too. Hashtag relatable. Also, hi, Jordan.
Like oh, yeah. Hey, Jordan. What's up?
Welcome to the set.
Good to be here.
You know him. He co-hosted one time.
So we wanted to do a segment just about sports movies that make you emotional. Because there's a lot of them.
We all have them.
So we all picked 2, and there's so many of them. But let's start with Jordan.
Yeah.
And we'll each talk about a couple movies.
And we want you to tell us yours. Yeah.
Okay.
So my first one, Friday Night Lights. Football, favorite sport.
Movie, not the show.
Yes, movie. Definitely not the show. But football is my favorite sport, so that's kind of why it hits home. I feel like that movie just resonates with me.
Speaks to you?
Yeah.
Hits you right in the feels.
Every single time.
Jess is going to borrow it from us.
I've seen the TV show,
own it.
But
Different.
Different.
Yeah. Okay.
Totally different.
Okay, what's your other one?
Second one, Cinderella Man. Also, I don't know if I'm so like sad sport movies.
Yeah, that movie is so sad.
But that's where I'm at. Cinderella Man. It just, you can
the
feel that
ending's
story
happy,
as it's
right?
going on.
yeah.
Right? Kind of. Okay, my 2 are obviously, this is a lot of people's Remember the Titans. It's my all-time favorite movie. The jokes are good, the music is good, but the story is just
incredible,
unbelievable, and the story is true, which makes it even more awesome. But when Sunshine goes in as quarterback, there are just some moments that get you there. And my other second one was Radio. About the disabled boy. Oh my gosh, who's the manager for the football team? I shouldn't be talking about this. But the part where he's on the field and kicking in the rain, literally I cry. I'm thinking about it and I'm gonna cry, so I'll stop. Radio. Oh my gosh.
That's a good one. That was 3 football movies.
Yeah.
Mine are neither football nor basketball movies. So my 2. So these are movies that always make us cry. Every time The Greatest Game Ever Played makes me cry. If you've never seen it, I don't think a lot of people have.
I know
you guys haven't
golf.
seen it, right?
I can't remember. Yeah.
It's a golf movie. It stars Shia LaBeouf. It's set in England. And he's lower class. And
no, I have seen it.
Have
I have seen it. Yeah. It's good.
Anyway, it's really good. And it's funny too. And it's actually really not that boring, even though it's about golf.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a golf watcher, but anyway, it's really good. And then the other one that I thought of was Miracle with Kurt Russell.
The
about
Miracle
the
on
1980s
Ice.
Hockey team. Yeah, that one
So
every
good.
time.
So
Who do you
good.
play for?
USA. Yeah. Anyway, good one.
Love that one.
So sports movies, I think that they just resonate differently with people for some other reasons. Some other ones that we kind of just thought of were
We Are Marshall,
Rudy.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You guys saw 42. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yep, the one about Jackie Robinson. The Blind Side is another popular favorite.
Field of Dreams.
Forever Strong about Highland.
My first date with Jonathan was Invincible with Mark Wahlberg.
That is a good one too.
Yeah.
So there are a lot out there, and like we said, we want to hear yours. So tweet us back. Let us know if you agree with us or what your favorite is.
Yeah, we want to hear about it. So.
And thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks.
So that is our show for today. As for what we have next, today Eric Mika comes home. We are really excited to have him back.
I'm really excited for that.
So
bring on those pictures.
We will be tweeting and Facebooking those pictures, and we'll have them all in Talk of the Town next week.
Yes. So baseball lost their series to Creighton this last week, darn it. And then their pitcher, Maverick Buffo, is out for the remainder of the season. Doesn't he have a cool name? I love his name.
I know.
But
he would be on our all-conference name team.
Yeah, for sure. They do play at UVU tonight at 6 p.m., so head down the street and support them. And then they play Gonzaga at home starting on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday,
Definitely
Saturday.
Go out there for that WCC rival matchup, right? And then not this week, but next week we are going to have volleyball in the NCAA tournament. They did win the MPSF tournament this past weekend.
Congrats to volleyball.
Mm-hmm. And rugby also won in the semifinals against Arkansas State, and they will be playing Cal for the Varsity Cup at Southfield, and that's also in 2 weeks, so we'll give you more details as those things approach.
And women's rugby is also playing for the final.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Shout out to them. As for our sponsors, today's show was brought to you by Italia in all its beautiful glory. We are so jealous. Good luck to the women's soccer team out there.
This episode also brought to you by Picket Fences. Don't get caught watching the paint dry.
May you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary. We'll see you next week.